So we are on day 20, I believe, and it's really changed a little bit. We felt a slight shift from it being all about, hey, we're going rah rah, we're going on a vacation to, okay, this is the way we're going to be living our lives for the next year. We've had to do laundry. My husband is in charge of the laundry, and he's gone out to do laundry a few times. So figuring that all out and you know, deciding what I'm going to do with the kids while he's out with the laundry and all of that sort of thing. And sort of coming to terms with the fact that, you know, my parents aren't around the corner and call on for babysitting. So the decisions we make, we really have to make so that everybody gets the time they need, as well as making sure that the kids are always, you know, occupied and entertained. So it's been a little bit of a shift.
Have there been any hiccups yet? Have you run into any challenges that you weren't anticipating?
Yes, there's been a hiccup. So we should have actually at this point already been on our way through Western US. And unfortunately, we had to cancel our plans into Seattle and Portland this weekend and opt instead to go straight to LA and then fly out to Argentina. And basically it was some travel documents that we needed to get sorted out. We've now done that. And we're actually kind of glad that we took the time to do that so that going forward, things can be a little smoother than they were. Yeah, but it was a learning experience. And we had to deal as a family with, okay, change in plans. How are we going to adapt? What are we going to do with this weekend? And, you know, the extra time in Vancouver has actually turned out to be a real blessing. It gave us a little bit of downtime. An opportunity to just sit and call home and catch up with friends and do regular emailing and that sort of thing. And it also gave us an opportunity to explore the city a little more. So we had a great experience last night where we went out to this gelateria place called Bella Gelateria that was just to die for. The gentleman who runs it, his name is James, and he's just a passionate entrepreneur, but really about family and product and taking your time to make something that matters. And the kids ended up getting, totally understood, ended up getting a behind-the-scenes tour of him making the gelato. He explained all the machines. There was a lineup out the door. We were being asked if, you know, to step in and help serve by some of the customers because we were sort of wandering around in the back. And he had us tasting fresh raspberries that were going into the sorbets, and you know, the kids had the freshest gelato ever because they got a spoonful right out of the machine.
Wow.
And it was funny because he actually turned to my youngest and said, well, to both of them, and said, you know, who likes caramel? And my older son said, oh, I do. And the young one says, no, I don't like caramel. And he said, okay, taste this. So he scoops out this fresh gelato on the spoon and he hands it to Cameron, who's 6, and Cameron, you know, tentatively takes a little lick and, you know, looks at us, you know, and then just puts the whole thing in his mouth. And that is the best I've ever tasted.
Oh,
we've had,
that's
you know,
fun.
moments like that just, you know, we all burst out laughing and really make us glad that we're doing this as a family and able to have these memories. We know we'll laugh about that for years, you know.
Now, sources tell me there was another bear encounter.
Yes. So,
yeah.
when last we spoke, our bear experiences were all about, you know, seeing them from afar and, you know, appreciating nature and that sort of thing. Well, we went up to the Mankato course in Whistler, and Mankato is basically a ropes course that has an obstacle factor to it.
Okay.
And so the plan was that we would all do it, but in the end it turned out that Cameron was too young. So Ish and Cameron went back to the hotel, and Ethan and I went out for a mom-son experience where I would sort of supervise him doing the course, experiencing this course. So up he went. He was a trooper. I was really nervous. It's all about, you know, clipping and gripping, and you're tied to a harness, and it's you know, it's got some elements of danger to it. He's just turned 9, and Mom was a little nervous, but he was doing it like a champ. He's going across this course, and he slips. No problem. He's got his harness on, but he's swinging around, you know, and the harness is just sort of whirling and what have you. And so, you know, the guide who's with us is no problem. He's going to go over, get him untangled, get it. I'm not fussed at all. And I just casually turn around, and probably at the most 2 car lengths away from me is a huge bear.
Oh my goodness.
Like, I mean, a mama bear. Wow. And she's just, just walking, just casually past. And my first thought is, because it never occurs to me, I have no pictures of this, it never once occurs to me to pick up my camera, which is hanging right on my neck. The only thing I'm thinking is, Ethan looks like bait. He's hanging from this thing and spinning. And I'm thinking, if he freaks out, like, I don't know what her reaction would be. I don't know. Like, I've never encountered a bear. So the words that come out of my mouth are, the guide's name was John. I'm like, Jono, that's a bear. And he turns around kind of quickly and went, oh. And
so they weren't used to that then.
No. And so he's like, okay, stay calm. But I could tell from his voice that this was not a common occurrence. And he eventually gets on his radio. He lets people know, and everybody, it ends safely. Apparently bears have very little interest in human interaction up there. They're so used to humans being around. But still, it's a wild animal. The wrong kind of freak out could have provoked it. And we're lucky. We're lucky that it was a bear that was out for a morning stroll, not interested in encountering anyone, just wanted to get to the river, get some water, be on her way. And Ethan, to his credit, I assumed that he hadn't seen her. Okay. And so eventually I said, did you see that bear? He goes, oh yeah, I saw her coming up the hill. Like,
of course. Okay. When you say your kids are prepared for air travel, I mean, I'm sure there's tons of parents out there going, tell me, what do you do? How do you prepare them? Like, what are some tricks that you've learned?
Well, and it depends on age, right? Our guys are 6 and 8, and the experience. And they've been on planes before. But generally, what you want to make sure is that they're going to be comfortable on the plane. So airplanes are cool. We always make sure we've got layers that they can strip off or add on as need be. And then we think about how they're going to be entertained during that flight. Whether it's, they're going to carry books to read to themselves. Are they going to carry, if they're younger, books that you're going to read to them, and make sure it's something you're not going to get sick of because you'll read it over and over again. Or, everything to electronics. We left our the Nintendo DSs and the iPod Touches and those sorts of things. We left those at home. But we do have a Zoom, as a Motorola Zoom, and we do have, our iPhones, and we have a few other things that they can play with, watch movies on, and that sort of thing. So we've already begun the process for this long flight of downloading movies, of uploading apps to things that we think will keep them entertained during that super long flight. But also it's about, I think for the first few times that you're on a plane with your child, is sort of explaining to them and showing them what behavior on a plane looks like. Kids tend to get a bad rap on planes, and I think it's unfair. I think, kids are people too, and they have a seat, and if they have one, you bought it, and they're entitled to be there just like anybody else. But at the same time, I think as a parent in any situation, it's your responsibility to help teach your child what the behavior is that's appropriate for that situation. So we have lots of conversations about not pulling on the seat in front of you, and not just gently tapping the movie screen, not bapping the person in front of you in the head every time you do it, and personal space and that sort of thing. But they're kids, and every so often they're going to kick a seat, and they bought that seat, they're entitled to it, I suppose. I think the biggest lesson I'm learning this week is to pause, and yes, there will be bumps in the road, which, surprising to me, I always knew there would be bumps in the road. I mean, nothing goes smoothly ever. But still, there was something about, the bump that kept us here that was a little off-putting, and felt like, oh no, now the trip's not perfect. We've had to have this setback, and we've missed something. And then you have this great experience last night that totally, you say, oh, this is exactly where I'm supposed to be, and this is exactly what we're supposed to be doing. So I've learned to sort of, or I'm learning to go with the bumps, and to be open to the fact that they hold experiences too.
Absolutely. That is amazing advice. Thanks so much, Heather.
Thank you.